Your attention span is now 8 seconds. 20 years ago, it was 12. You're now literally less capable of focusing than a goldfish. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what they did to your brain, who did it, and how to recover your deep attention capacity before it's too late. Here's the fact nobody wants to face. Every time you unlock your phone, every notification you check, every time you switch tabs, you're literally training your brain to be incapable of focusing. And you're doing it 150 times a day without realizing it. A massive 2025 study tracked the digital activity of 50,000 people for a complete year. The finding was terrifying. The average user can't keep their attention on a single thing for more than 47 seconds before seeking a distraction. 47 seconds. Not minutes, seconds. And here's the worst part. These same users believed they could concentrate for 30 minutes without getting distracted. The difference between perception and reality was almost 40 times. Your brain is so damaged, it can't even perceive its own damage. Let me tell you exactly when I realized my attention was destroyed. I was trying to read a book, a real book, paper. Something I'd done effortlessly my entire life. After 3 pages, my hand automatically reached for my phone. There was no reason. I wasn't expecting any message. My brain simply needed the stimulation. I tried again. 5 pages. Hand to phone. 7 pages. Hand to phone. I couldn't read 10 consecutive pages without interrupting myself. And the terrible thing is, this impulse was completely unconscious. My hand moved on its own, as if possessed. That's when I understood something was fundamentally broken in my brain, that my basic capacity for sustained attention had been hijacked. And it wasn't an accident. It was deliberate design. So what exactly happened? How did we go from being able to read complete books, study for hours, work deeply on complex projects, to not being able to maintain attention even during a short YouTube video without pausing it to check something else? The answer is in what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity. Your brain is constantly restructuring based on what you do repeatedly. Every action you repeat strengthens certain neural pathways and weakens others. It's like a muscle. What you train grows. What you don't use atrophies. For the last 15 years, we've been training our brains to do exactly the opposite of sustained attention. Every time you instantly respond to a notification, every time you quickly switch between apps, every time you consume fragmented content, you're training your brain for distraction. Imagine you're reading an article on your computer. An email notification arrives. You check it. It's 30 seconds. You return to the article. Your brain needs to reload the context of what you are reading. That takes an additional 20 to 40 seconds. Just as you recover the thread, a WhatsApp message arrives. You check it quickly, just 10 seconds. You return to the article. In 5 minutes, you've been interrupted 4 times. Your brain never reached reading depth. You only process the article superficially, and this repeats 100 times a day. For years, you're literally wiring your brain to permanently operate in shallow mode. A group of researchers did a fascinating experiment. They took 2 groups of people. They asked the first group to read long texts without interruptions for 6 weeks. They asked the second group to use the internet normally, with all their usual distractions. After 6 weeks, they scanned their brains. The group that read without interruptions showed an increase in gray matter in areas associated with sustained attention and working memory. The group that used the internet normally showed reduction in those same areas. 6 weeks. That's all it took to see measurable physical changes in brain structure. And trust me, I lived this degradation firsthand. I remember when I could sit down to write for 3 straight hours, completely absorbed. I produced deep, creative, high-quality work. But after years of intensive social media use and constant multitasking, that superpower disappeared. I'd try to write, and my brain literally hurt from the effort of maintaining concentration for more than 15 minutes. It was like trying to run a marathon after years without exercise. The physical capacity still existed theoretically, but it was so atrophied, it was functionally useless. But here's what nobody tells you about fragmented attention. It's not just that you can't concentrate, it's that you lose the ability to experience flow, to do deep creative work, to solve complex problems, to have original thoughts. All these capacities require what psychologists call high-intensity sustained attention. You need to hold a complex idea in your mind for enough time to explore it from multiple angles, connect it with other concepts, manipulate it creatively. If your maximum attention is 47 seconds, you never enter that cognitive space. You permanently live on the surface. You process information but don't integrate it. You consume content but don't create knowledge. You're busy but never deep. And this has measurable costs in your real life. A 2025 analysis of university students found that those with lower sustained attention capacity had academic averages 32% lower than those with high attention capacity, even when they had the same IQ. It wasn't intelligence. It was capacity to maintain enough focus to learn complex material. Students with fragmented attention could read the same texts, attend the same classes, but their learning was shallow. They didn't integrate knowledge deeply. The same happens at work. Researchers followed knowledge workers for 3 months and measured both their attention capacity and productivity. The correlation was brutal. For every additional minute of sustained attention they could maintain, their productivity increased exponentially, not linearly. Someone who could concentrate for 90 minutes didn't produce 3 times more than someone who concentrated 30 minutes. They produced 10 times more high-quality work. Because truly valuable work requires depth, and depth requires sustained time. So how do you recover your attention? Because that's the point. I didn't come here just to show you the problem. I came to give you the exact protocol I used to rebuild my attention capacity from 45 seconds to more than 2 hours of uninterrupted deep concentration. Attention Reconstruction Protocol. 5 progressive phases. Phase 1. Stop the bleeding. Eliminate automatic interruptions. The first step isn't trying to concentrate more. It's stopping actively training distraction. That means disabling absolutely all notifications that aren't critical to your immediate survival. Email, no notifications. Social media, no notifications. News, no notifications. Messaging, only notifications from contacts marked as favorites. Everything else? Total silence. This sounds simple, but it's critical. Every notification you receive trains your brain to expect constant interruptions. Even if you don't check them immediately, your prefrontal cortex is constantly monitoring whether something new arrived. It's an invisible but enormous cognitive cost. When I eliminated all notifications, the first 3 days were horrible. My brain panicked every 15 minutes. I felt physical anxiety from not knowing if there were new messages. It's exactly what an addict feels in withdrawal. Because that's what you are, an interruption addict. But after the 4th day, something changed. My brain started to calm down. The periods between impulses to check my phone got longer, from 15 minutes to 20, from 20 to 30. It was like watching an atrophied muscle start to regain strength. Phase 2. Basic endurance training. 10-minute concentration blocks. Once you stop the bleeding of interruptions, you need to rebuild your basic attention capacity, and you have to start where your brain is now, not where you wish it were. If your current maximum attention is 47 seconds, don't try to concentrate for 90 minutes. You'll fail and get frustrated. Instead, start with 10-minute blocks, just 10 minutes of sustained attention on a single task. Nothing more. Set a timer. Choose a specific task. Read 3 pages of a book. Write 200 words. Answer 5 emails. During those 10 minutes, only that task exists. Phone in another room. Computer without other tabs open. Do this 3 times a day. Morning, afternoon, evening. 3 blocks of 10 minutes of pure attention. And here's the trick. When the timer sounds, stop immediately, even if you want to continue. You're training a muscle. You don't want to exhaust it in the first session. After a week of 3 daily 10-minute blocks, increased to 15 minutes. A week later, 20 minutes. A week later, 30 minutes. You're gradually rebuilding your neural capacity for sustained attention. Phase 3. Progressive deepening. 45 to 60-minute blocks. Once you can maintain 30 minutes consistently, you're ready to start training real depth. This is where your work starts to change qualitatively. At 30 minutes of sustained concentration, your brain finally enters what's called default mode network. It's the state where creative connections start to emerge, where you solve complex problems, where you do truly original work. Gradually increase to 45-minute blocks, then 60 minutes. These should be your standard work blocks for tasks requiring real thinking. Not for administrative tasks, for genuine cognitive work. I reached this point after 6 weeks of progressive training, and the difference was like seeing in color after years of seeing in black and white. I could hold complex problems in my mind. I could explore ideas deeply. The work I produced was qualitatively superior. Phase 4. Deep immersion. 90 to 120-minute blocks. This is the elite cognitive zone. 90 to 120 minutes of uninterrupted deep concentration. This is where you produce your best work, where you write your best content, where you have your best ideas, where you solve your hardest problems. But you can't do this all day. Your brain only has capacity for 2, maximum 3 blocks of extreme depth per day. Use them strategically on your most important work. The work that really moves the needle, the work that matters. The rest of the day you can do lower cognitive intensity work, emails, meetings, administrative tasks. But your 2 90-minute blocks go to your critical work. Always phase 5. Maintenance and expansion. Attention protection habits. Once you've rebuilt your attention capacity, you need to protect it ferociously, because the world is designed to constantly destroy it. Every app, every platform, every digital service is optimized to fragment your attention. Here are my unbreakable rules for maintenance. First hour of the day, 0 screens. Last hour of the day, 0 screens. Deep work blocks. Phone physically in another room. Airplane mode during writing or creative work. 1 complete day a week without internet. It sounds extreme. It is. But here's the reality. The battle for your attention is the most important battle of the 21st century. Whoever controls your attention controls your life, controls what you think, controls what you believe, controls what you do. After 3 months implementing this complete protocol, my attention capacity went from less than 1 minute to more than 2 hours of sustained deep concentration. I'm not exaggerating. I measured this rigorously, and it fundamentally changed the quality of my work and my life. Let me leave you with this. Your attention is the scarcest and most valuable resource you have. It's more valuable than your money. It's more valuable than your time, because your attention determines what you do with your time and money. Every moment you spend in fragmented distraction is a moment you can't use to create something meaningful, to learn something deep, to genuinely connect with someone, to solve an important problem. The good news is your attention isn't permanently destroyed. It's atrophied. And an atrophied muscle can be rebuilt. But you need commitment. You need discipline. You need to be willing to seem weird in a world where everyone is distracted all the time. Start today. Not tomorrow. Not Monday. Right now. Disable your notifications. Schedule your first 10-minute block of pure attention for tomorrow. First thing. And start rebuilding the capacity that literally defines who you are and what you can achieve. If this video helped you understand why your attention is destroyed and how to recover it, subscribe, because in upcoming videos, I dive deeper into each cognitive reconstruction technique. I'm going to show you specific apps I use, exact routines, how to handle work and social life while rebuilding your attention. Drop a comment telling me how long you think you can concentrate on a single task without getting distracted. Be brutally honest, and then measure it tomorrow. Use a timer and see how long you actually last before seeking a distraction. The difference will surprise you. Your attention determines your destiny. Are you consciously building that attention, or are you allowing them to destroy it for others' benefit? It's time to choose. See you in the next video.